This story begins at a National Opera Hall, where it is shown that many people are attending an opera performance. Here, we are also shown a CIA agent and a top Russian military officer. But then we see that there are several criminals inside the hall, and they take everyone hostage. When the CIA agent finds out that something has happened there, he tries to escape, but then the Russian military officer, who is in league with them, does not let him leave, meaning he is also colluding with those people. Now, while this is happening in Russia, the local police force also arrives at the same moment to stop all the criminals. But then, a small team arrives there, which is neither related to the criminals nor the Russian military force. They are working completely separately, led by this story's main hero, named the Protagonist. Here, it is revealed that the criminals are after that CIA agent. Basically, they want a package from him. Meanwhile, the Protagonist's mission is to save the CIA agent, take the package the criminals are searching for from the scene, and escape. During this, many bullets are fired at him, but then a well-wisher, who has a red talisman on his back, saves him. Meanwhile, the Protagonist reaches the CIA agent directly, finally asks him for the packaged location, saves his life, and returns to his team. But then it is revealed that our team is not entirely trustworthy. There are some people inside it who are also connected to the criminals. Because of this, they threaten the Protagonist, demanding he tell them the package location, or else they will kill him. But then, the Protagonist swallows a cyanide pill and sacrifices himself for his secret mission. Later, it is shown that the organization that recruited the Protagonist finds out that he has passed their test. When he wakes up, he finds himself on a ship, where he starts talking to a man. The man tells him that there is an organization called Tenet, for which he works, and they have chosen him for a very special mission. So, he asks what the mission is, and the man there says that preparations for World War III are complete, and we have chosen you so that you can stop that World War III. So, the Protagonist asks when World War III will happen and who is involved, but the man says he only knows a name, Andrei Sater, and apart from this clue, he knows nothing else. To keep all these things secret, it has been divided into several parts. You must find out for yourself who these people are and why they want to activate this world war. From there, they send him to a windmill, where he is told he must spend a few days, after which he will be sent on his next mission. The Protagonist spends a few days there, where he builds his strength, sometimes working out, sometimes practicing with weapons, and sometimes getting a hot body tanning. After this, he is taken to a secret facility, where he meets a scientist. Then, the scientist tells him that some time ago, they found some bullets that are moving backwards in time. The Protagonist doesn't understand what she is talking about, so to explain this, the scientist takes him to a shooting range and gives him an empty gun. So, the Protagonist checks it, and there are no bullets inside. Then, she says, aim at this target and pull the trigger. As he pulls the trigger, the bullet returns back into it. Then, we come to know that the bullet is basically moving backwards in time. In our perspective, we fired the bullet, meaning we moved forward in time, but from the bullet's perspective, it returned to the gun's magazine, meaning its timeline was inverted, it was moving backwards in time. So, the Protagonist asks her who is doing all this and where did the bullets come from. Then, the scientist reveals that some people from the future are making such bullets, along with many other things that are inverted and moving backwards through time. If we try to pick them up from the ground, they will fall to the ground from our inverted perspective, and if we drop them, from their perspective, they will return to our hands. Your job is to find the people who are inverting the timeline of these things. Keeping these things in mind, the Protagonist starts his investigation on the bullets, and then he finds out that these bullets were manufactured in India. Then, he goes to India to meet the main dealer of those bullets, and he finds out that the main dealer's name is Sanjay Singh, but reaching him is no ordinary matter. Just as he was planning how to meet him, he meets another main character of this story, named Neil, who tells him that Sanjay Singh is the city's biggest dealer, such a dangerous man that anyone who has tried to meet him has never returned alive. For this, we will have to break into his house by force and extract the information from him. Then, the Protagonist is quite confused. He is surprised to know how Neil knows so much about his plans and about him, but he puts these thoughts aside, shakes hands with him, and both of them perform an inverted bungee jump to get inside his house. They ask Sanjay Singh how he got these bullets and who is making them. Then, a plot twist in the story is revealed, where we find out that the bullets are not being made by Sanjay Singh, but rather by his wife, Priya. It is revealed that Priya, played by Dimple Kapadia, had sold the bullets to a Russian mafia member named Andrei Sater. but when she sold the bullets, they were normal, who inverted their timeline. She does not have any information about that. But one thing becomes clear here. Priya reveals that Andrei Sater must be connected to someone from the future, who is supplying all these things to him. If you reach Sater, you will also reach that future person who is supplying all these things to him in this world. So, the protagonist asks her how he can meet Sater. There, Priya says that meeting him is very difficult. He is a Russian mafia member, and if you want to reach him, there is one way, his wife, named Kat. If you meet Kat, she can get you to Andrei. But reaching Kat is also quite difficult because Andrei always keeps her with him. So, the protagonist asks how he can reach Kat. There, Priya tells him that Kat is an art appraiser. She has a great passion for authenticating real and fake paintings. In this matter, Michael Crosby can also help you. Go meet him. Then, the protagonist and Neil escape from there, avoiding the police. The scene shifts to the next day, where he goes to meet Michael Crosby, who is basically a British agent. Michael tells him that Kat and Andrei are not on good terms. They have been having disagreements for a long time because Kat had sold one of Andrei's paintings by claiming it was a fake, which was very expensive. He says, I have another copy of that painting, the same forgery. If you take that copy to her and forcefully tell her that this painting is real, upon hearing this, Kat will be willing to talk to you, and perhaps she might even get you to Andrei. Hearing this, he takes the painting and goes directly to Kat, and says, I have the real painting, the copy of which you sold to Andrei by driving him crazy. But then, Kat sees through his lie. She realizes that this painting is also not real. This painting is a duplicate copy, because the person whose name you are taking, from whom you bought this picture, Andrei had already beaten him to a pulp. He cannot even speak, so how could he have sold it to you? During the conversation, Kat becomes very emotional and tells the protagonist that there was a time when I sold his painting, because of which he made my life hell. We have a son named Max, and he never lets me meet him. The protagonist says, haven't you tried to give your relationship a new beginning? Then, Kat says, yes, I did, once on a trip to Vietnam, when we were together in the memories. I said many loving things to him, and we also promised to start a new life together. But then, Andrei refused this and told me he had to leave for work. And when I returned from the boat with Max, he was there with some other relatives. But when I checked here, Andrei was not there. He had left from there. Because of this, the situation between us has never been right to this day. After hearing this, the protagonist promises her. He says to her, if I steal this painting from his vault, then the anger he holds against you will never happen again, and the allegation of the birthday theft he has placed on you will be removed. But in return, you must arrange a meeting for me with Andrei. Finally, Kat agrees to his argument. The protagonist tells Neil all these things, and they both plan to steal the painting together. They find out that inside the Oslo airport, there is a vault called a Freeport, where Andrei also has a vault, and that vault is so secure that no ordinary person can go there. If they want to go, they have to go as a client. Because of this, first, Neil goes inside that airport as a client and tells the people there that he is a wealthy man and wants to deposit some important pictures inside this vault. In return, he also checks out the entire security setup, where the cameras are, where the doors are, and how the security system works. Then, they find out that the security system there can never catch fire because it has a hydrochlorine gas system, which eliminates all oxygen within 10 seconds, so if a fire ever starts, and along with that, all the doors also seal shut so that no thief can steal and escape. To carry out this theft, they meet a person named Mara, and then all of them together plan to cause a plane to crash into that entire building, which will cause a fire there. Now, they play another game. They cause a plane crash that is carrying gold bars to another country, and they do this so that when they are stealing the painting, no police will pay attention to them because all the police will be busy removing the gold bars from the route. And finally, the day comes when everyone has completed their preparations and is ready to steal the painting. They cause a very large plane to crash there, which causes a huge fire, and along with that, they also drop the gold bars on the ground, so that the entire security team becomes busy picking them up. In the meantime, they break into the locker that belongs to Andrei Sater, but then they find out that there is no picture there. Instead, there are two large chambers, one colored blue and one colored red. As they arrive there, they find some bullet marks there, and as they turn the machine on, two people come out running from it. One runs towards Neil and one runs towards the protagonist. The protagonist tries to confront the person coming towards him, but then we find out here that the person who came out of the turnstile, whose name is inverted, can invert time. Basically, the person who came out of it was fighting in the inverted timeline, and the protagonist was fighting in the normal timeline. Because of this, the fight is quite confusing. but somehow, the person who came out of the machine escapes from the protagonist's clutches. The next day, the protagonist meets Kat and tells her, "We have stolen the painting. Now, the time has come for you to fulfill the promise you made to me, to fix a meeting with Andrei Sater." That same night, Kat introduces the protagonist to Andrei. But by then, Andrei has already found out that thieves broke into his vault the previous day, and he is probably one of them, which is why he threatens to kill him. But then, the protagonist says, "I have a deal for you. I know that you, apart from being an arms dealer, are also very interested in black market items. I have something for you. If you deal with me, I will help you secure some plutonium, and in return, I want to work with you." Finally, hearing his words, Andrei agrees and takes him on as a guest. That same night, the protagonist also finds out that the future people have sent something for him, which is basically gold bars. But then, some of Andrei's men see him doing this and catch him. Then, Andrei beats him severely there. But then, the protagonist says, "If you kill me, the plutonium you are searching for, you will never get it in your entire life." Because of this, Andrei does not kill him. The next day, the protagonist and Neil prepare to secure the plutonium, in which they explain that a very large truck is carrying the plutonium and is about to be shifted to a facility in Estonia. If we manage to steal the plutonium in time with the help of different vehicles, we will be successful in our mission. And on the other hand, Andrei goes with Kat to his warehouse, where he tells her to go inside a machine, but then she refuses. Angered by this, Andrei becomes very furious and beats her severely, and tells his academy, a little while later, "Whatever incident happens, you will tell me word for word." And saying this, he goes inside a nearby turnstile machine. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the convoy carrying the plutonium. Now, as the protagonist and Neil have made their preparations to steal the plutonium, they block the convoy with all their cars, trailers, and a large truck. Along with them, the protagonist, in his car, goes inside the truck and steals the plutonium box and escapes from there. And when he opens the box and looks inside, it does not contain plutonium, but rather a tablet, which is a piece of the algorithm. Now, what is this algorithm? I will tell you further in this story. As they are trying to escape, Andrei starts chasing them, and with him is Kat as well. And then, the protagonist is told, "If you don't give me this box, I will kill Kat." Now, here we are shown the most spectacular car chase of this story, where some cars are moving backwards in time, and some cars are moving forward in time to accomplish this task, which includes a Mercedes, an Audi, and a BMW. The protagonist did not want Andrei to kill Kat, so he gives the box to Andrei, and with that, Andrei leaves from there. But when he leaves, Kat is left alone inside the car. So, to save Kat's life, Neil tells him to drive both cars similarly, don't invert the timeline of either one. And with his brilliant cleverness, finally, the protagonist jumps into her car and, with his own hands, gives her a dose of a radioactive substance. Seriously, guys, this scene was so critical that once, watching the scene, my breath stopped. But still, in the end, all of Andrei's thugs capture both of them and take them inside that same warehouse where Andrei was present with Kat earlier. And then we are shown their two rooms, one is red in color, and one is blue in color. In the red room, the people present are living in their present time, while in the blue room, the people living there are moving backwards in time. And this is where the most confusing part of this movie begins, where Andrei is asking the protagonist, "Where is the plutonium that was inside this box?" There, the protagonist says, "You stole it from me." This matter was not understood by the protagonist at that time, but the man standing nearby, whom Andrei had told, "Whatever happens in this room, you will tell me step by step." With the help of his words, Andrei finally holds Kat in his clutches, puts a gun to her head, and asks the protagonist, "Tell me what exactly happened, to whom did you give the plutonium, and where did it go? I know it is not with me now." Understanding this matter, the protagonist starts telling Andrei, "We were in the car, you were in the BMW, and I took the box out of my car and gave it to you." After giving this information, Andrei shoots Kat and leaves from there. Now, because Andrei was moving backwards in time, and the bullet he shot at Kat was also an inverted bullet, and the beating given by the forward-moving protagonist, such a bullet is extremely dangerous. Because of this, the protagonist and Neil decide that if we don't save Kat, she will die. Then, Neil says, "If we use this machine again, we can go back in time and save Kat." But the protagonist says, "If we go back just 10 to 15 minutes in time, all those thugs will be there, whom we just confronted 10 minutes ago. So why don't we go back 1 week in time, to when we tried to steal the painting from the airport vaults, and where we found the two machines?" At that moment, another team arrives there, whose leader is none other than Priya. And the protagonist finds out that Neil, along with Priya, and this entire team, are all part of the Tenet organization, which will be formed in the future, and they know everything about the future. From there, Neil and the protagonist enter that time machine, i.e., the turnstile, and go back 7 days. But then, the protagonist remembers that 7 days ago, when we come out of the turnstile, our past selves, the protagonist and Neil, will be there, and we will encounter ourselves. So, why don't I go through the time machine first, and then, after I get the two of them out of the way, you take Kat and exit the machine? On this movement, the people from the future explain that after using this turnstile, our human world is completely inverted. Just as humans in normal life breathe in oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide, in the same way, if someone exits a turnstile, time will be running backwards for them. This means the entire environment will be filled with carbon dioxide for them. Therefore, if you are going backwards in time, you will need an oxygen mask. But remember one thing, if you collide with your real self, you will blast and explode. Therefore, you must always hide your face and also wear a protective suit on your body. And then, the same plane crash is shown, which we were shown at the beginning of the movie, the same theft that we saw at the start of the movie. And when the protagonist exits from there, he encounters his past self. His past self has a gun, which is loaded with many bullets. Now, here, the protagonist tries to empty all the bullets from the gun. If he does not do this, those bullets will also invert and move backwards in time. So, he tries to unload all the bullets from the gun one by one, and there he tries to fight with his past self. He knew that he was from the future, so he knew all the moves of his past self from the inverted timeline, and finally, he distracts both of them and escapes from there, which gives Neil the chance to enter the turnstile with Kat, which finally causes Kat's condition to start improving. Now, here, it is revealed that I work for the Tenet organization. A long time from now, there will be a scientist who will gain control over all this, deciding what things to send back in time and how to use them again in the future. But her discovery falls into the hands of some wrong people, who now want to destroy this world. Basically, to destroy the world, they will have to revert it completely backwards in time, meaning the plant that would someday sprout from the ground and become a tree would never come to life in the timeline. The tree that would bear fruit would never bear that fruit. This means the entire human race will slowly start to become extinct, and to do such a thing, they need an algorithm. That algorithm has been divided into a total of 9 pieces, and the piece that Andrei was searching for was basically the 9th piece, the last part of the algorithm, which he now has in his possession. And now, at any moment, Andrei will assemble the entire algorithm and bury it in the ground, so that the future people can find it, dig it up, and after that, they will destroy this entire world. Then, the protagonist remembers the thing that Michael Crosby had told him when he went to meet him to talk about the paintings. Michael Collins had told him that Andrei is from a place in Russia where a bomb blast had occurred. After that bomb blast, a team was sent to clean up the house, but after checking, it was found that all the people there had died. This directly means that Andrei must have killed all his companions for a deal, and in my opinion, he must have found a time capsule there that the future people had sent for him. So, this means that to finalize the deal, he will bury the algorithm right there, from where the future people will retrieve it again. To carry out this task, their team splits into 2 parts, a red team and a blue team. The blue team is the one that has already gone there, accomplished the entire task, and returned in their blue container. And the red team is the one that is now about to go to accomplish this task in the past. And here begins the most confusing part of this movie, where it is shown that Neil is part of the blue team, who has already tried to obtain the algorithm, and the red team, which includes the protagonist, is now about to go to prevent the algorithm from being buried in the ground. Because if this happens, the future people will get that algorithm device, and with that, they will destroy the entire world. From there, the protagonist, with a companion, goes into a small tunnel, but then a car starts following him, though his attention is not on it. When he reaches inside the channel, he finds the 9-piece algorithm there, and just as he is about to pull it out, someone is about to shoot him. But as the person shooting at him, who is Andrei's man, is about to shoot, Neil kills him there, and the protagonist takes the algorithm out from there before it can be buried in the ground. Then, the protagonist says to him, "I saw you fall the last time there, this means you are going to die. Why did you do all this? This means you knew everything beforehand." Then, Neil reveals there, "I am part of the Tenet organization, and the one who hired me is none other than you. At this moment, your and my friendship is ending, but in the future, you will meet me again." And saying this, Neil starts to leave from there. Then, the protagonist sees a red talisman on his backpack, and then he remembers that the person who had helped him at the National Opera Hall was none other than Neil, and he knew all the things that were going to happen to him in the present because he had already come from the future, sent by none other than his own future self to the present to help him. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we are shown Kat, who, with her cleverness, finally kills Andrei and throws him into the water, and she also jumps from that ship. And this is the same scene when, in Vietnam, when Kat is coming on a boat with her son, she also sees a girl waving from there. This is the same scene where the future Kat had killed the future Andrei and started a new lifestyle. However, Priya also knows about this matter, which is why she reaches the school where Kat has arrived to pick up her son, Max, to kill Kat. But then we find out that the protagonist is also sitting inside that car, and then he says to Priya, "You are working for the Tenet organization. The Tenet organization is none other than mine, and to keep this matter secret, you are killing Kat. This was not part of our deal." Therefore, he himself kills Priya, and with this, the movie ends here.